Okay, so today, as promised, I'm going to teach you something called the thought model. So at the very beginning of our time together, I brought your attention to your critter brain and how your critter brain, its job for all time was and will continue to be to protect you. It's going to protect you from what it sees as a danger, any kind of potential threat, and that usually comes in the form of you changing a behavior, you changing a habit, you changing a thought, you wanting to do something that you've never done before. This really scares the critter brain and it starts to talk you out of it and gives you all sorts of excuses. This is the next step to that, right? So the thoughts are going to come. The critter brain is going to generate the thoughts. In addition to the critter brain, we just have thoughts anyway, because we're thinking beings. And we have something like 60 to 80,000 thoughts that run through our heads, through our brains every single day that we're not even aware of. There's no way to even be conscious of every single thought that goes through your head. But there's a lot of thoughts that, again, we're not conscious of it, that are dictating and determining how we live our lives. So in addition to recognizing that there's a critter brain that really wants you just to be happy all the time, it doesn't want you to, exert too much effort, doesn't want you to get tired, it wants you to always be pursuing pleasure, it wants you to always avoid pain. In addition to that, you have all these thoughts going through your head that we think are the truth. Any thought that you think, right? Why? It's just, if I'm thinking it, it must be reality. It must be truth, but it's not. Every single thought that goes through your head is simply that. It's just a thought. It's not the truth, especially if that thought, once we zero in on it, is not serving you. And it's the thought that is giving you a result in your life that is not working for you. In any area, in your health, in your relationships, in your personal life, in your career, on any level, if there's something that's frustrating you and it's just not working, you're just not seeing results in that area, or you just keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, this is because at the root, there's a thought that you have about this incident, about this circumstance, and that thought is basically dictating your belief system, dictating how you feel and dictating all your actions that keep giving you this result that's not working for you. So how do we literally get ourselves out of that? How do we think ourselves out of a thought that doesn't work for us? It's a simple exercise called a thought model. I didn't come up with this. I learned it from my coaching and from my mindset coaches. And I'm going to teach you how to do it today. So make sure you have pen and paper. And this is something, like I told you yesterday, it literally has to be done with a pen and paper. You can't do it on your phone. It's not something you can do digitally, and it's not something you can type out on your computer if you're somebody who prefers everything digital, everything to be typed out. It literally needs the connection between your brain and your hand and the paper, the old-fashioned way, in order for it to work. So here's what I want you to do. Piece of paper, just write thought model, divide it down the middle, and 2 columns, you're going to write the exact same thing on both sides. First thing you're going to write is circumstance, followed by thought, followed by feeling, followed by action/inaction, followed by result, and then just repeat it on the other side. And give yourself space to write underneath these, either underneath it or next to it, depending on how big your piece of paper is. Write that all down.
Dana, sorry, I cannot see anything. Can you repeat, please?
Oh, sorry. Oh, can you guys see? So the first line is circumstance. Second line is thought. Then feeling. Is it backwards also for you guys? And then action, inaction, and then the last line is result. The same thing for both columns. Repeated. Circumstance, thought, feeling, action, inaction, and then result. Everybody ready? Okay, so here's what each one of those categories means, and then I'm going to ask one of you to volunteer with a thought, and I'll walk you through how this exercise works. So circumstance refers to anything around you or in your life that you cannot change. A circumstance is a person, your husband, your kids, your parents, your boss, any human being. A circumstance can be an event, like a world event, the World Cup, COVID, a hurricane, a storm, anything, somebody's wedding, somebody's birthday, any event, something you have going on at work, anything. It can be a person, play, or anything, basically. It's something that we think we can change at some level, but we can't. But it's not changeable. It's a circumstance. The thought is whatever it is you are thinking about this circumstance. So maybe it's a person, maybe it's a situation at work, maybe it's a soccer game, maybe it's a pandemic, maybe it's something that's happening in the future, right? Your thought about that circumstance. And then feeling is different than thought. This is where sometimes we get a bit of confusion. A thought is not a feeling, and a feeling is not a thought. So when you say, this is too hard, that's a thought. When you say, I hate doing this, that's a feeling. Hate is a feeling. So saying something is hard is different than you saying, I hate doing this thing. You can say something is hard, that's the thought that's going through your head, but the feeling that comes up around this thing that's hard is hate. Or you could be afraid of doing this thing that's hard, or you could be apprehensive about doing this thing that's hard. Those are feelings. The next thing is, what is this thought about this circumstance doing when it gives you the feeling of apprehension or fear? So what do you end up doing when you think something is hard, or what do you end up not doing? And then what is the end result? This is just the basic way this model works. It's going to make a lot more sense when I give you a more tangible example. So we start with the circumstance, how you think about that circumstance, the feeling that arises from the thought you have about the circumstance, the action or inaction you take from the feeling that you have. All our behavior in life, all our actions stem from our feelings. They don't actually stem from our thoughts. If you're feeling good about something, you're feeling happy about something, you're feeling positive about something, or you're feeling sad and scared about something, that's what either pushes you to take action or not take action. And then we have the final result. Why do we have two columns? Because the first column is you're going to take a circumstance as it currently stands, and your current thought, your current feelings, your current actions, and your current result based on this circumstance. Changing it requires you to do the exercise a second time with the same circumstance, but then you literally are going to choose a different thought that's going to give you a different feeling, that's going to lead to a different action, that's going to lead to a different result. Let's do some examples, because that's the only way this is going to make sense. Who wants to start? Who wants to give me a thought? And I've been catching your thoughts the past 2 weeks, right? Who wants to give me a thought that you believe is not giving you the result that you want? Anybody, raise your hand. No one? Any thought? I can go pick one from the group. Nobody wants to volunteer. Manel, go ahead.
My mother's situation.
Okay, which is what? So, okay, let's start. So you're talking about your mother, right?
Yes,
Okay.
she's old anyway, and she's not in a very good condition, and she's in Alexandria, and I'm in Cairo, and I can help looking after her as I used to do.
Okay, so the circumstance here is your mother.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. The circumstance is your mother. So write that in under circumstance. My mother.
Mm-hmm.
Can't change your mother. So what is the thought you have around that? That I can't help her as much as I used to?
Yes.
Okay. Does that, I'm just repeating what you're saying, but you need to tell me if that's the actual thought or not.
Yes, that I'm helpless.
Okay, that's a feeling. Perfect example, right? So
okay,
feeling helpless is your feeling. So the thought is, I can't help her, right?
She's not reachable for me. That's the thought.
Okay,
or
she's
that's
not
all
reachable.
the
Okay, she's not reachable. No, that's the circumstance because that goes under your mother. That's your mother.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
other thought is, I can't help her,
Mm-hmm.
right? So write that down. I can't help her.
Mm-hmm.
And then that makes you feel helpless.
Helpless. Exactly.
Okay. So what do you do when you're feeling helpless because you can't help your mother?
I just call her by phone.
Okay.
That's what I can do.
Okay. And what's the end result of that?
Partially not satisfied.
So you're not happy with that. Like that's not
Yes,
the
I'm not happy. Yes, yes.
Not
The result, I'm not happy. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna undo that, okay? What is the result that you do want? That when we do it backwards, we start with the result. The circumstance is going to be the same, which is your mother. That doesn't change. We start backwards with the result because we want to start with, well, how do I get to the result? So you need to know that the results that you want. So you're not satisfied in this scenario, you're not satisfied. What do you want to happen in this scenario?
To be of any help to her, real help, I mean.
And what does that actually look like? Not
To look
hypothetically.
after her medicines, to look after the caregiver, the lady who takes care of her, to make sure that everything's in order, to just to hold her hand, to be, just all this.
Okay, so I'm going
Just
to
assuring her that I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm assuring her that I'm there because she usually wants me to be just beside her,
So I'm going to
Okay.
assume that you can't be with your mother. Like she lives, you said, in Alexandria, so and you live here.
Yes.
So short of you moving or her coming, that circumstance, that's not going to change for now.
No. She's not in the condition to be moved anyway.
So basically what you want is the reassurance that your mother is being well taken care of by somebody else.
Exactly.
Okay. So what is that going to require in terms of action on your part?
I don't know.
Okay, let's take it one up again. So in the other circumstance, you feel helpless. Okay, so when you're helpless, you call her and you check up on her, but that's not enough. So what's the feeling that you would need to have that is going to propel you to take a different kind of action? Because when somebody's feeling helpless, usually when somebody's feeling helpless, that's not a good enough incentive to do anything, right? In any circumstance. So what is the feeling that you need to tap into that is going to have you at least be inspired to think of a different action?
Actually, I go there every 2 weeks, just one day, because I have a little bit health conditions that I can't stay. I can't stay the night away from my home anyway. So some health issues anyway. So I just go one day and come back by the end of the day. And I'm exhausted for the rest of the week.
Okay.
Accordingly.
Yeah.
But I just do it. That's all that I can do. I thought about every way to solve this thing, but I have no other choice,
Let's think of something that doesn't require you to have to go to Alexandria, because this is something that you are thinking and feeling and dealing with every single day. So we need a solution for every single day, not something when you go to your mother once every 2 weeks. And according to you, that's not even enough. And it doesn't really make you satisfied. What is something that you can start to feel and take action on that will make you feel satisfied that your mother is being well taken care of every single day?
Being in contact with the lady who's taking care of her.
Okay, let's take that as an action. So calling the caretaker every single day, right? So what is the feeling you have to have in order for you to call the caretaker every single day? Do you think you're going to call her when you're feeling helpless?
No, I just call her, not when feeling helpless. I just call her because I have to call her.
Right. Do you
Because I
think-
have to take care of.
Okay. So
Sorry,
when
I misunderstood the question. I think so.
no, when you're feeling in right now, currently you feel helpless. Okay. That's what that's
Uh-huh.
what you're feeling today,
Mhm.
right? You're feeling helpless. And you
Mhm.
call your mom and it's not enough. Okay. So you're not satisfied. What you would like to have
Mhm.
happen is you would like to every single day feel satisfied and reassured that your mother is being well taken care of. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
So right now you're thinking, I can't help her. That's your thought. Okay. And it's making you feel
Mhm.
helpless. So what's a different thought that you
Mhm.
have besides, I can't help her?
Mm. Sometimes I think that was what God wants, and I have any other choices.
Perfect.
So I have to accept it.
Perfect. So this is what God wants. Same circumstance. Your mother, she's in Alexandria. We haven't changed anything. In one circumstance, you think, I can't help her, and it makes you feel helpless. And all you do is call her, and you end up feeling like nothing has changed and you're not satisfied. As we go through shifting the thought, right? So all you're doing is replacing one thought with another one. So this is what God wants is also another thought. How do you feel when you think this is what God wants?
A little bit better, because I analyze all the circumstances and there's nothing else to do. So I just calm down and
Okay.
accept it.
Okay.
Accepting.
Okay. So we can go with acceptance and we can go with calm. I feel acceptance and I feel calm. Does that feel a little bit better to you than feeling helpless?
Yes, definitely, but it doesn't eliminate it. It just comes
We're
and
not
goes.
remember,
Okay.
we're not trying to eliminate it. You can't change it. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Circumstance,
Okay.
we don't change the circumstance. The circumstance is what it is. Whatever the circumstance is. And this is why people are stuck, right? This is why people are stuck in their thoughts and stuck in their feelings, because they think that in order to change their thoughts and feelings, the circumstance has to change. Like the person has to change, or what's happening has to change, or the person who's making me feel sad has to change, or the person who's making me feel angry, they have to change. No. The circumstance never changes. The only thing that changes is how you are reacting to a circumstance. That's it. And think of a circumstance as a movie, right? 10 people can go and watch the same movie. Somebody's going to come out hating it. Somebody's going to come out loving it. Somebody's going to come out crying. Somebody might come out laughing. It's the same exact movie. The only difference is people's perception of it. So what you're doing now, imagine your mother and her circumstance as a movie. In one instance, it made you feel helpless. Okay. You feel I can't help her. Somebody else might be looking at you and think, oh, well, this is a great opportunity. Somebody might look at that and think it's an opportunity. Somebody might look at that and think, oh my God, her life is over. How is she doing this? Everybody's going to have a different thought. And not one of those thoughts is the truth. Because otherwise we'd all have the same thought about every single circumstance. So what you're doing right now is you're simply choosing a different thought without changing the circumstance. It's not going to change. You have to accept that. Not unless you bring your mother here or you move there, but you said that's not an option. So as long as that's not an option, you can't change the circumstance. All right. So already choosing this is what God wants versus I can't help her. This is elevated. It's elevated your energy already. So when you're coming from a place of this is what God wants, instead of feeling helpless, you feel acceptance and you feel calm. So then what's the action you're going to take when you're feeling acceptance and you're feeling calm instead of helpless?
I think I would I would think more clearly
Okay, so thinking more clearly.
about what
Okay.
One
Uh,
is the, for example, sometimes when I accept things, I think clearly. I think that I will think about the doctors who can help, other
There you
sort of help that can either, yes, my cousins living there, I can ask them to visit. That يعني, it
Mhm.
just raised, يعني, it just came to my mind.
Right? So it's all energy. So already being helpless is a very low energy. You're not going to, the solutions are not going to come to you when you're feeling helpless, right? Because of the thought is I can't. Remember how we said I can't, or I will try, or I hope. They block opportunity. So when you say I can't help, it's not your fault. You didn't know this. You blocked yourself from solutions showing up. As soon as you change the thought, you said, this is what God wants, and I'm going to accept what God wants. It took us 3 minutes, and already you have different solutions. So you might not have an exact solution, but now you have the possibility of a solution or combination of solutions that what will give you reassurance that your mother is being well taken care of.
Yes.
You see how that works?
So whenever I feel helpless, I have to remind myself that this is what God wants.
In this circumstance or any circumstance, the way the thought model works is you actually have to do this exercise every single time you find yourself in a situation where you're not getting the result that you want. And you might have to keep repeating this with the same circumstance, with your mother as the circumstance, to find the solution. Sometimes it takes several thought models around one circumstance to find the right thought that gives you the right feeling, that gives you the right action, that gives you the result that you truly want. But as you can see, it is about, it's such a conscious process. We just think of our thoughts as these things that they're there. They're in our brain, they're in our head. And so if it's there, then that's what it is. What this is going to teach you to do is it's going to teach you to be an active participant in your thought process instead of a passive observer and just kind of going along with your thoughts no matter what they are. We get to choose every single thought. Nowhere are we ever going to stop and take apart 60,000 thoughts a day. We don't, and you don't even need to. We're just looking at the thoughts that are creating undesirable results in our life. Specifically those, because those are the ones, when you pay attention to them, you change the results in your life and you change your life. You get to have a different experience in your life when you focus on the thoughts and change the thoughts that are the dominant ones that are just sort of taking you along for the ride instead of you being the driver in the car.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have another example for us to use? Anything, any thought about anything? Lubna, go ahead.
I had a thought the other day, but I handled it. So would you like me to give you the example?
Let's do it. Don't tell me how you handled it. Give me the original thought first.
Okay. The original thought was that my husband was having difficulty with the detox.
Okay. So the circumstance is your husband.
Yes.
So you know how to go through this process. The circumstance is your husband. And your thought was he's having a hard time
coping with the detox because of the coffee, mainly because of the cappuccino in the morning, the coffee.
Okay, so he's having a hard time with the detox because of coffee. Perfect
coffee
thought.
and the meal plan itself, but mainly the coffee and the sourdough. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Okay, perfect. And then what was your feeling around this?
My feeling about this was I was not helpless, but I was frustrated. That was my feeling.
Perfect. Okay. And so what did you do with this frustration? What was the action you took?
The action I took was I talked to him at length, and I kept on discussing the pros of the detox, and his health, my health, and that we should help each other with this.
Mhm.
And we got over it. Now I will not say he's thrilled. Okay,
Okay.
you want to go through the process?
I want to go through. So you talked and you discussed. And so the end result
Yeah.
was what? The end result was what?
Acceptance, and acceptance of the detox.
Mhm.
And I will not say he's thrilled with it, but he's starting to feel, I think, the positive effects.
Mm.
And so we acceptance, and we got over this. Yeah, and my frustration, my frustration is gone.
Oh, okay. So this might not be the best example. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
no,
okay.
it's okay. So is that the result you wanted? Are you happy with that result?
I'll tell you, because it was every single time I give him the juice, or I give him especially in the morning, he feels deprived, and I see it on his face. He feels deprived, and I know he's not too happy about it. And that was very frustrating for me, because I'm doing all the work. He's helping, of course, but I'm doing all the work, and I'm not appreciated. You know what I mean? That was the thing.
Okay, so this is different. This is a different thing. All right. So not just that you're frustrated, you don't feel appreciated.
Because it was like I was forcing him. He felt forced to do this. He felt compelled.
Okay.
But he did appreciate the effort, but it was very complicated, though. I mean, he did appreciate the effort, but he resented the pushing and the meal plan itself. It was not his cup of tea, obviously.
Okay. So we can't change that. You can't change him, and you can't change the plan, and you can't make him love the plan, and you can't make him, you can't do anything like that. Like he's the circumstance, and everything attached to him, none of it you can change. None of it. You can't make him love the celery juice. You can't make him not miss his coffee. You can't make him not miss you can't do any of that. All right. So what is the result that you wanted? Did you want him to appreciate you at the end of all, even if he hates all the food? Did you want,
no, not appreciate me, appreciate the meal itself, the meal plan itself, the detox itself. I wanted him to embrace it, basically.
Okay.
I was taking it in my stride. I was embracing it very positively.
Right.
He was embracing it, as we say, على مضض, so to speak. يعني بليمونة, معصورة ليمونة.
Yes.
And I do appreciate the effort he's putting into this as well, because it's not easy. This is the first time ever he goes on a certain diet, and I'm not saying a diet to lose weight, a diet, period.
Right.
Okay. I do realize, and I do understand the kind of effort and the struggle he's having.
Okay.
And for the first week, it was like he was really, really struggling with all this, and it was getting to me. I was frustrating because I'm doing so much, and like, okay, we have to do this. I have to drink this. I have to eat that. But because in general we were healthy eaters, he didn't mind the food itself. He didn't, because the vegetables and the salads, this is part of our meals anyways. But what he really resented was the breakfast part. I think that's the key issue here. The breakfast.
Okay,
the
so
coffee, the bread.
he resents breakfast. Okay.
Yes.
And that made you feel very frustrated, made you feel not appreciated, made you feel like he's not embracing the process.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's the thought. He's not embracing the process. Okay. So this makes you feel frustrated, because you are, and you're like, you know, we should both be, you know, embracing this process. So then the action, you decided to talk to him about it. And then the end result, what? Is he embracing the process now?
Yes.
Fully, like you?
Well, I'm very positive about it, though. He's accepting. Let's say that he's accepting it.
Okay. Is that the result you wanted? Did you want him to accept it? Okay. So there's nothing for us to actually change here. Like, you don't need to change this result. You're satisfied. You're happy with the way that this played out.
Yeah. Now I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm content with the end result, because I used to feel like every single, especially at breakfast,
Mm.
every single, and when I told there's no meat, there are no nuts, he was very, very disappointed as well.
So what do you think,
And
what do you think is the thought that you had that helped you then? Instead of feeling he resents everything, and instead of feeling he resents breakfast and he's, you know, not embracing, because you kind of did this without knowing what you're doing in a sense. So can you recall if you switched any kind of thought you had in your mind as you went through this process?
for me or
Yeah.
for him?
For you? No, we
For
can't
me
change,
or for him?
can't change anything about him. Did you change anything about anything that you were thinking that made it easier for you to speak to him and made it easier for you to accept that he's just going to be on board and not necessarily embracing and happy? Was there a different thought that you then, besides he hates breakfast, he resents breakfast, he hates not having his cappuccino? You probably are not conscious of this, but you had to have chosen a different thought for you to accept what he's going through.
I can't put my finger on it.
Did you on
I'm
any
sure you know.
level, yeah, did you on any level say, you know what, this is his choice, or he gets to not embrace this, or as long as he does this and starts to feel some benefit, it's okay if he's not 100% happy about it? Anything
I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what helped me was, because remember I talked to you about it like 2 or 3 days ago, and then you said it is his choice.
Yes.
You do what you have to do, and he has to do it. So for me, I think this was the shift in my mindset.
Yeah.
That I don't have to force anything on him.
Perfect.
He does not have to be thrilled with it as I am.
Yes.
Okay, but he knows that it's good for him, and for me, that was enough.
Good.
That was enough.
So you kind of went through this process on your own. The initial thoughts, he resents this, he doesn't like breakfast, he, you know, hates missing his coffee, had you feeling, you know, maybe frustrated, not appreciated. Then as you sort of came to the realization, instead of thinking he resents this, you thought something along the lines of, this is his choice.
Yeah.
This is his choice. Like, he can resent it, but that's also his choice. So that kind of, instead of feeling frustrated, again, maybe that got you to a level of acceptance, so that when you had the conversation with him, it was easier for you to hear him and listen to him, and easier for you to accept whatever it is he needed to say without feeling like you're still unappreciated, or he's not thrilled, or he's not, you know, embracing the process. So you kind of did it, and you sort of had your own, you know, where did she go? Did Lubna disappear? I think she disappeared. Anyway, so she kind of went through the process on her own there. All right. Irina, you want to go next?
Dana, hi.
Oh,
Yes,
how are you?
I remembered one thought pattern that I have. I usually notice. I even speak it out.
Okay.
Usually when I complain or I'm low in my energy, I usually say that it's too many things, and it's too many things that as if I'm not handling them.
Be very, very specific. Give me the circumstance, a very specific circumstance. Like the way that this exercise works is it has to be very specific. You have to be referring to one specific incident, person, issue, right? And we work from there. If you say like everything is making me feel like I'm overworked or overwhelmed, that's going to overwhelm your critter brain. It won't be able to help you, and your thought process will not be able to effectively break this down for you. So choose one very specific issue, instance, person, event that we can look at. And then here's the thing, you can do a thought model for every little single instance or event in your life. Like if you have a collection of things, right, Irina, you can break those down into one by one and do a separate thought model for each one of them.
Okay. So I will take the situation that's happening right now, that I need to organize retreat. I decided to do retreat, and I had impulse for it, and I really want to do it.
Okay.
And I took the direction, and then I only need to start prepare the material post.
Okay, hang on. Let's take it one step at a time. So your circumstance is your retreat. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your current thought about your retreat?
I do nothing about it.
I'm not doing anything about it.
I'm not doing anything about
I'm not doing anything about it. How does that make you feel?
it. Makes me feel frustrated and loaded, like heavy. I feel heavy and loaded by this thought that
You're not doing anything.
that I'm not doing, yes, what I want.
Let's go with one feeling. Let's go with heavy. All right. So when you're feeling heavy, because your thought is, I'm not doing anything about this retreat. What do you do when you're feeling heavy? What is that?
I keep postponing.
You postpone the retreat, or you postpone working?
I postpone doing something about it.
Okay. So procrastination, you procrastinate.
Yes.
Okay. And then you procrastinate. What's the end result of that? What ends up happening when you procrastinate?
It ends up that I'm not doing it. And even if I do something little, then it will be again big stage that I don't do anything around it.
When you're organizing a retreat, ultimately the result you want with a retreat is, I'm guessing, signups, right? You want people to come attend this retreat. So if you are in the planning phases of your retreat, do you already have people signed up, or are you in the process of getting people to sign up?
I'm in the process of announcing it in order for people to sign up. Okay. So I didn't do this first step. Yeah.
You haven't announced it yet. Okay. So the result is here, you haven't even announced your retreat.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. You haven't announced it. So because you're feeling like I'm not doing anything and this feels really heavy, so I'm just going to keep putting it off. And the end result is nobody knows about my retreat. I haven't announced it. Okay.
Yes.
So what is the result that you would like?
I would like to post, to make all the arrangements that needed for post, and to post about it, to announce about it.
You want to announce it, and in the announcement you want to have obviously the date, the price, the details, all of that in your announcement, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in order for you to make that announcement, what do you have to do in order for you to create that post that says, hey, come to my next retreat? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be on these days. It's going to be at this location. Here's the price. Message me for more information or whatever. What is it that in order for you to create this announcement, what do you have to do?
I have to prepare the photo video material.
Okay.
I need to prepare the frame of the text.
Okay.
And all the details related to the date and the program and the pricing.
Okay. And do you think you can do that when you are feeling heavy?
No, I don't want even to go there when I'm feeling heavy. I feel uninspired.
Exactly, right? So you just said another important word, uninspired. So what do you think what's the feeling you think you have to have in order to create beautiful photos and videos and appealing text? So people are like, oh my God, yes, we want to come to this retreat. What's the energy or the feeling you have to be in order to create this content that's going to attract people to your retreat?
I want to feel excited about me, myself, going to it and doing it.
So you want to feel excited because you want the people coming and people reading your post to be excited. So do you think you're going to feel excited when the thought is, I'm not doing anything for this retreat?
Khalas, no.
So what's we need to choose a different thought here, right? This is still the retreat. It's not changing. But right now you're thinking, I'm not doing anything. And it makes you feel heavy and you procrastinate and you haven't shared the announcement yet. You want to share the announcement. You want to share a beautiful, catchy, colorful, inspiring announcement that gets you the most incredible people to come to your retreat. And you know that you have to be excited to create this content and post it. What do you think you have to be thinking in order for you to be excited?
Oh my God, I'm finally doing the retreat.
Yes. Oh my
Gonna be
God, I'm finally,
amazing.
it's going to be amazing. Oh my God, I'm finally doing the retreat. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, I'll write it.
There it is. There it is. And we didn't make it up, right? It's not like we're forcing something. You're simply recognizing that there's a thought, and it's a domino effect. And that's just how the mind and the body work. And it's an energy. And yet we walk around believing it. Like, I'm just, I'm not doing anything. And okay, so like, I'm so uninspired. I'm just going to sit here and hope maybe something will happen. Or you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to get rid of this thought. It's not serving me. And it might take you a few takes, right? Let me choose the thought that makes me excited, makes me inspired, that, you know, we're going to hang up on this call and you're going to go and start working on your posts.
Yes. Okay, I love it.
How does that
I
feel?
love this exercise. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Wow, it's changing the whole state.
Changes everything. It changes everything. And it makes it, when I first did it, I was like, what? Like, you know, because you, especially like with, I don't know about all you guys, but like my parents, they come from that generation where like, it's just, it is what it is. Like, if you're a boring person, then you're just a boring person. Or if you're just a lazy person, then you're just a lazy person. Or if this is just our circumstance, you know, then there's nothing that we can do to change it. And it's just, we just grew up. I mean, that's just how they are, right? But when I was first taught this, I was like, it's a bit scary, because it also teaches you that I think for me, it was like, oh my God, how did nobody teach me this before? And I've been sort of stuck in all these thoughts that have just not done anything for me. But then the flip side of that, I was like, oh, but then that means I can't blame anyone for anything, right? You can't say it's my husband's fault or it's my mother's fault. You can't say anything, because it's all about how you perceive it. It's all about how you think about something. So that whole passive thing of, he made me sad, or he upset me, or she made me angry, or she's really made me feel horrible, or it's her fault I'm depressed, that all goes out the window, because it's nobody's responsibility how you think and feel. Nobody can make you sad. Nobody can make you angry. Nobody can make you anything. You're the only one who chooses. You're the one who chooses. You choose to be sad when somebody says something to you, or you choose to be angry, or you choose to like walk off and be pissed off at what they say. You can choose completely different ways to react to everything in your life. So from that respect, it was a little bit scary. Like, from now on, it's 100% my responsibility how I respond to everything. But once you get into that habit, it's so empowering and it's so freeing, because anybody can literally say anything to you and you're just going to choose to not let it affect you. It takes practice. It takes a lot of practice, but it's incredible how that can work. And you just allow people to feel what they want to feel. That's their choice. And you get to choose how you want to feel and how you want to behave. That's your choice. And it's peaceful. Brings you incredible peace of mind is what it does. Anybody else have a thought they want to share, or they want to help to help them transform it? Dina, go ahead.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
How are you?
Fine. So yesterday, of course, you know that almost no one in the house is with me on the detox thing. Okay. So yesterday I was cooking dinner for me, which was vegetables and salad, which is something I don't like so much, but I'm trying to think positively all the time. Okay. And then my husband asked for some of my favorite items for dinner to cook for him. And then it was very, very difficult to handle the cooking and then I gave it to him and he was eating it. And then he was suddenly as normal, but maybe because yesterday I was really frustrated and weak. So as normal, he was stating how delicious the food was. And then he asked for dessert, which was one of my favorite chocolates, and he ate it and was like, "Oh my God, this is one of the best chocolates you can ever have." And I was like, "Okay." So now I'm really angry.
Okay.
I decided to tell him, "Okay, you need to stop. I told you like 3 times to stop, like explaining how much you are enjoying the food that I'm not having now. So it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel so. It's he didn't. He was like, "Oh, okay, sorry," and everything. But I know it will happen again and again and again. And
Because-
it's not easy for me to think
I know.
positive.
Okay, you know why it's gonna keep happening again and again? Because he's allowed to feel whatever he wants to feel, right? He's the circumstance. So let's just say he's the circumstance, your husband, right?
Yeah.
So he's allowed to think and feel whatever he wants. He can think that what you're doing is totally ridiculous. That's his right. He can think that the food that you're eating is the worst food in the world. That's his right. He can think that the other food that he's eating is the most amazing food, and it's his right to express it. It doesn't mean, again, these are all thoughts that you're having. It doesn't mean, and you're translating his thoughts in a sense. It doesn't mean that he's not being supportive. It doesn't mean that he doesn't understand. It doesn't mean that he's against what you're doing. He just likes his food, which is his right. All right. So if that's the circumstance, right now, what is the thought you're having about your husband currently? The fact that he eats his food and has to keep telling you over and over how delicious the food is and how the chocolate is amazing. What is your thought about that?
Of course, at first I felt really angry, and I
That's a
felt
feeling.
that
That's a feeling. That's a feeling. What is
Yeah.
your thought?
My thought was that that maybe he's intentionally making whatever, explaining whatever, and enjoying whatever he wants to talk me out of it. So
Okay, so he's trying to talk me out of it. Okay, that's a
unintentionally, of course, if you ask him directly, he will deny it. but
okay.
but
Okay,
this
so
is always my thought.
okay, so he's unintentionally trying to talk me out of it, and this makes you angry, right?
Yeah, because it makes me, because I'm doing this kind of for both of us, to be healthier, to have like better fertility and etc. So of course I needed some appreciating. I needed some support.
Right.
So this is like
So this is
the opposite.
opposite. Well, let me just coach you a little bit on the side here. If you're not doing this for both of you, you are doing this for yourself. All right. You cannot, as one half of a couple who are trying to conceive, do all the work by yourself. And this is sort of a hard truth, right? You cannot do all the work when it comes to fertility. For some reason, it always feels like one of the two is the one who has to do the work. It is a joint effort. So this is another thought model for you. This is a separate thought model for you, that you think that you're the one who has to do the work for both of you. On a biochemical level, if you are both inflamed, you're both going to affect the results of your fertility. Both of you. You cannot take full responsibility of this. You're doing what you can do. You're doing 100% what you can do, but you cannot take on the added responsibility and then make him feel on any level that he is supposed to appreciate that you're doing everything. That's not fair to him, and it's not fair to you. Okay, that's a side note. Now, currently, he's unintentionally trying to get you out of it, which makes you feel angry. So what do you do when you're angry at this?
Actually, I just I ignored it for the time being, and I just kept away. Like if he was in the kitchen, I went to the bedroom and I just tried to relax and read a book and just think of anything else other than whatever negative thoughts he gave me. So
okay, I'm gonna catch this thought for you. He didn't give you a negative thought. You choose the negative thought. Nobody gives you a negative thought. Nobody gives you a negative feeling. You choose your thoughts and your feelings. So this is what we're changing. So you feel angry. So you feel like you just need some space. You need to be alone. You just stay away from him. And then what is the result of doing that? What is the result? What is the effect on your relationship when you do that?
No, so first of all, of course, I talked to him and he said, okay, I'll try to focus on what I'm saying and when I'm saying it, and then I was a bit like hungry at that time, not hungry as I was full, but maybe I was craving the food that he was eating, so I just left the kitchen and read a book and tried to distract myself until I slept and woke up stronger in the morning. So and try to remember that the root cause of all of this and going through all of this, maybe it made me feel better, but still at the end, at that time at night, I was still sleeping, not in my best mood. So
Okay, so you went to sleep not in a good mood, like unresolved. You went to sleep, this was unresolved for you, and it made you go to sleep with lingering feelings of something is not right. Like, even though you had a conversation around it, it wasn't necessarily the conclusion you wanted to get to.
yeah, what's done is done, and it was fine. It's so it was something that whenever he craves anything, I will just cook it for him and he will just eat it and enjoy it. And if I'm not enjoying my meal, then I'll have to live with it. And so it's something that I can't change. So it's fine. I just have to get used to it.
Okay, what is the result that you want? So your husband is not going to, unless he makes a conscious decision to, take another look at his health and reevaluate his health, he's not gonna change, and we can't make anybody change. So he's not gonna change. What is the result that you want from him continuing to eat the foods that he wants to eat, continuing to ask you to make him his favorite foods, and you want to, and you're going to do that because you're his wife, and if he asks you for a meal, you're going to make it. What is the result that you want? Because you're like, I'm going to keep making it even though I'm not happy, or you said something along the lines of, I'm not enjoying my food, I'm still going to make him his food. Do you think that's the optimal result in this situation? What is the optimal result for you in this situation? Knowing that you can't change him, nothing about him is going to change. Even if you've talked to him, he might work a bit on, not commenting as much or not saying how much he loves the food, but he's still going to eat his food. That's not going to change. You're still going to make him his food. That's not going to change. So what is the optimal result in your mind for this situation? Where you don't go to sleep in a bad mood.
Nothing except that I try to enjoy myself too, and enjoy the program, and enjoy my life too. So, and try to push out the negative thoughts, whatever I have in my mind. As you said, I just need to rephrase it somehow.
The thought you have now is, he's intentionally trying to talk me out of it. So what is the different thought you're going to have now? Instead of thinking he's unintentionally trying to talk me out of it, what's the new thought you're going to choose?
Just I'm just going to think about as I said, that just to rephrase that he's not doing that. He's just, as you said, he's enjoying his meal, and I have to enjoy whatever I'm doing as well, to see the results after all. So nothing will happen now, but maybe in a month or so when I'm healthier, it will make a difference. So this
this way of eating will make a difference to my health, for example.
Yeah.
So you replace, he's trying to talk me out of it, unintentionally trying to talk me out of it, with this way of eating is going to make a difference to my health.
Exactly.
So how is that going to make you feel? First, you were feeling angry with him for unintentionally trying to make you stop. When you think, though, this is going to make a difference in my health, what's the feeling that you feel when you think that?
It made me feel better in the morning. It made me feel stronger. And it made me want to go on, which is the most important thing. So
amazing. So it makes you want to go on. And then what's the result of that? What's going to be the end result of that?
Hopefully that I cure whatever autoimmune disease I have, that my body is not inflamed anymore, that I feel healthier,
Mhm.
that I regain back my health and my life. So
All right.
that I conceive naturally, whatever is there for a healthy woman that
Yep.
our mothers and grandmothers had automatically. And it was easy for them to have.
Yep.
We can have it as well. So
Yep. Totally different process, right? Totally different feeling, totally different experience. So this is the thought, and this takes training, right? This is a very, very weak muscle. It's like, imagine when you go to the gym and you haven't gone to the gym in a really long time, and you start to work out, and the first time you do it, your muscles feel really sore. And the next day you're like, oh, do I really want to go back to the gym? My muscles are really sore. Do I really want to do it again? But it's in the repetition that you see the results and you get stronger. This is exactly the same thing. It's like mental workout. So every single time, this goes for all of you, you find yourself, and the critter brain is going to try and bring you back, because the critter brain loves drama, right? It's going to keep bringing you back to where you are bringing yourself down. It's going to keep trying to remind you, you know what, by the way, I think he's unintentionally trying to talk you out of it. This is why when I first learned how to do this thought model, I was walking around with this notebook everywhere, so that every single time I would have a thought and I'm like, oh my God, this is not right. This is not serving me. I would do the exercise literally 6 or 7 times a day until I got into the habit of it, at least. And then it became something, and then I transformed, like we all have like a set of really, really recurring thoughts that we have all the time. If you ever have the same fight with your husband over and over and over again, it's because you're having the same thought and feeling every single time. I mean, we've all had this like one particular fight that we have for years. Imagine if you were just to change the way you think about this particular thing, the fight goes away. So we all have these like set, like a set basically of thoughts that we have on repeat all the time. So try and overcome those first, and then you're going to see as your life moves on, as you raise your level. And what you're doing here is you're raising your level of awareness, and you're raising your level of consciousness, right? Before, all these thoughts are just like running on robot. They're just running on repeat and you have nothing to do with it. Now you're going to be very conscious of it, and you're going to be a conscious, active participant in the thought process in your head. So literally, if you need to, take a notebook with you and catch yourself every time you are, you revert back to a thought. He unintentionally is trying to talk me out of it. No, this is going to make a massive difference in my health and my life. And write it down and reaffirm the feeling that comes with that, and reaffirm the action that's going to accompany that over and over and over again. And think of it as a workout for your brain. Think of it just like how in this detox, as boring as it might be, right? The same things over and over and over again, but it's the same things on repeat that might not be very exciting, that are going to give you the incredible results. It's the same process. All right. What I want you all to do, what I invite you all to do, is think of something that's going on with you, and it's not going to be hard for you to figure out. Practice a thought model and share it with me on the group, as many as you want to share with me until we're done with the program, so that I can see if you're doing it correctly, to make sure that you understand. You don't, because you will never need somebody to check up on you in a thought model once you really understand how you do it, because instinctively you're gonna, oh my God, it's gonna feel so right when you get to when you sync up the results with the action, with the feeling, with the thought. But to get there, you might need some guidance. So think of the things that are the parts of your life, in any area of your life, where you're just not getting the results that you want. Practice a thought model, share it with me on the group to get some feedback. If it's really personal, you can email me, but really start to get into this practice. Our minds are, like I told you from the very beginning, it's where you get all the results. It's how you are, how conscious or unconscious you are of where your thoughts are leading you. Lubna, you're back. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I was disconnected twice. I'm sorry. I did not. We did not finish. So I can go back to the video. You probably talked after I left. So I'll just go back to the video and I'll see what you said. Thank you.
Yes, and if you have any questions, post on the group or email me or post or whatever.
I think I worked it out. In the end, I did work it out. So I'll just have to watch the video and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me just check the questions. No, Manel, the issue doesn't have to be with the program. It can be anything, right? It can be anything. You can ask about an issue with a parent, an issue with a sibling, an issue with a friend, an issue with a spouse that has nothing to do with eating. It can be anything related to anything, because our health is not just about what we're eating and drinking every day. Our health is about our relationships. Our health is about, especially our primary relationships with our husbands and our parents. Your health is about spirituality. Your health is about your passions. Your health is about what brings you joy in your life. Your health is about exercise. Your health is about so many different things. And if your thinking process is not taking you where you want to be in all those areas, you can be eating broccoli all day and night. You're not going to be healthy. So bring up all the personal issues. This is where we start to dig a little bit deeper, because I mean, really, how much more can we talk about broccoli, ladies, right? That's it. You got it. You get it, right? Eat broccoli, eat the vegetables. You're going to be good. It's all the other stuff that's going to come out that truly needs you then to put in the effort there so that your mental and emotional health is going to match your physical health. Dina, I have joint aches, especially in the cold weather. What food can help that? I usually take Cousamine, but I've stopped for the detox. Okay, so joint aches are, the root of that would be, it could be a old viral infection. It could be a dormant viral infection. It could be inflammatory foods that have created the issue where you have joint pain. As you go through this program, you are going to reduce the inflammation that leads to joint pain. So this will take time. On top of this, I would use magnesium oil spray on your joints. Typically, we think that with joints or bones, it's a calcium issue, but more often than not, we're also looking at a magnesium deficiency when it comes to joints. So use magnesium oil spray whenever you feel a discomfort in any of your joints. And then as you're continuing on this way, you know, the healing foods, the fruits, like these are all the foods that help to regenerate tissue, right? That's why we focus on these foods. Fruits and vegetables actually help to regenerate tired, eroded, you know, tissue that's been eroded over many, many, many years. We need to build that up. Only food can do that, but it does take time. So as you're going through that process of rebuilding bits and pieces of your body, be kind to yourself in the process. And the best thing for joints is magnesium oil spray. Shaima, does drinking smoothies different than eating fruits? This is because I'm eating fruits for breakfast, for convenience, for the time being, and I get very bloated. Yes. The reason we drink a juice or we have a smoothie is specifically because to varying degrees, we all have very weak, tired, overburdened digestive systems. Your digestive system is by nature, it's a juicer and the blender. That's it. That's what your digestive system does. You eat a fruit whole or a vegetable or anything. And what your digestive system does is it juices it, right? Takes out all the goodness that it needs. And then it gets rid of the fiber and the stringy bits that it doesn't need. And before it does that, it blends everything, right? So your digestive system is a juicer and is a blender, but it takes effort for your digestive system to do that. And if your digestive system is tired, overburdened, weak, overworked, which everybody's is, one of the ways we try to take away some of the work that the digestive system has to do so that it can focus on healing is we give it the food sort of pre-digested, juiced or blended or in soup form. So then all your digestive system needs to do, instead of doing the hard work of juicing and blending, it just gets to absorb. That's it. So the more that you feel like a simple fruit bloats you, the weaker we know that your digestive system is. So as much as possible, that's why I've recommended to some of you to juice the vegetables, because that whole process of breaking down, and then the vegetables have to also kill off the bacteria and the pathogens. It's a lot of work that you're all feeling as discomfort. One of the ways to ease that load is to pre-blend, pre-digest. So yes, there is a difference, and that's why we do that. Okay, does that answer that for you? Everybody who's questions, Shaima, Dina? Sally, go ahead.
Hello, Dana.
Hi.
I'm still finding a difficulty to find the magnesium spray. I need
Did you
I
try
didn't-
Black Lotus?
Yeah, I tried here in October. I don't know if
They
and
were
I
out of
tried,
stock, or what did they tell you?
I sent somebody. He said not available. The driver. He said it's not. He got me only the peppermint and the lavender from
Right.
from another place, not from here. From
Try them. Try online. Try and see if you can order from them online.
Okay.
You might
It's,
find
it's magnesium spray.
magnesium oil spray.
And you said something else now.
I did.
Yes.
What did I say?
Find them online
You
as
can-
well.
Yeah, online. That's all I
I
said.
couldn't find them.
You couldn't find them online.
Mm.
Are they out of stock, or is it that they don't have it online anymore?
Is there a specific app or website for? Because I tried
just-
Amazon.
No, I just go
I
for.
tried it online. Actually, there is
Oh.
Facebook. If you send to Black Lotus on Facebook, you will find magnesium
Yes.
oil spray. They
Okay,
will make
great.
it available and send it to you.
Yes, exactly. So I think if you message them on Instagram, and if you go to any of their links or on Facebook and message them to make an order, like where they deliver it for you, you'll find it.
Okay, thank you for this. This is good.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about juicing day, which is on Friday. Make sure you're all ready for that. Other than that, think about the thought model. Think about what specific issue is just you feel stuck in your life right now. Could be about this program or not about this program. Do a thought model, share it with me so I can give you some feedback. And I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day, ladies.
You too. Thank you. Bye.